Let's welcome in Sherrod Blakely. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Nothing. We're a little dry on the Celtics front here, but we do have some interesting news. If you are a fan of basketball in general or care about the teams that the Celtics are competitive with, and that's, we love a little Schadenfreude in Celtics world, and we love watching the destruction of teams like the Sixers. We loved watching them go down in the playoffs. We love watching the Nets go down in the playoffs. And right now, the process is halted because Ben Simmons wants nothing to do with the Sixers. So your reaction here to this report? There's a little bit of gamesmanship going on behind the scenes. The offers. The offers Philly's asking for here are supposedly too high, and now Simmons saying he's not going to training camp. So this situation has come to a head very quickly. Just your thoughts on what's going on here in Philly.
Well, as you pointed out, John, the only thing that's better than seeing your house elevated is seeing the houses around you burn to the ground. And that's what we're seeing in Philly. I mean, it's literally getting close to that. There's Joel Embiid, and then the rest is like scorched earth.
Yeah.
But my thoughts on this is, I think there's a couple different thoughts here. First of all, kudos to Ben Simmons for actually doing what I think a lot of players are doing more of now, and that's empowering themselves to position themselves to go where they want to go. I think this is the first domino from Ben Simmons' camp to fall. Now he's not going to report to training camp. So what's the next logical question or issue to work out? Okay, if you're not going to come to our training camp, is there a particular training camp you want to go to? As a matter of fact, there is. And then you have a conversation where Ben slowly but surely takes control of the situation and winds up, like a lot of players we see today, in a destination of his choice. Because to your point earlier, John, the Sixers have had offers for him, and they're asking a lot. And Ben is probably getting wind of some of those offers and thinking, that's not that bad. I wouldn't mind playing for that team. And so I think that there has been an offer that's put out there with a team that Ben would ideally want to play for. And I think he's trying to squeeze the Sixers a little bit to get something done.
Well, the thing, though, it's tricky with this particular situation is someone like, I understand the player, I understand players taking control of their situation when they're headed into, a final year or second to last year of a contract, almost like an Anthony Davis ultimatum, or the same thing that Bradley Beal could theoretically do with Washington, which is, I'm not re-signing, so you guys trade me or lose me for nothing. Those are your options. And you force the team's hand. But in a situation like this, or even James Harden, you got to really act like a spoiled brat to get yourself out of 10. Not a spoiled brat. You got to really put your foot down, which is to say, nope, I do not care about money. I will not show up and play for you anymore, which is what Ben Simmons is doing. However, earlier in the offseason, they have a guy that they have under contract till 24-25, which means they can trade him anywhere. So he can't really pick his destination the same way as an Anthony Davis or a Beal did or could, because they say, trade me here. That's the only place I'm signing. You trade me anywhere else, which is what Davis did. Trade me to Boston. I'm not going to resign there. So sure, go ahead. I'll play 6 months there. And then Boston, you can give up a king's ransom for me and I'm not coming back. Do you really want to do that? It puts everybody in a situation where it doesn't, basically the player gets exactly what they want. I don't know that Simmons is there right now. I think Simmons, while he wants to go to California, may have to just kind of accept wherever, but the Sixers also have to accept whatever, which is a slightly bit of a reduced package here.
They do. And I think that for Philly, that's the part that sucks in all of this. I mean, it's pretty clear that you're not going to get the deal that you want for him. And for Ben, it's like, well, I don't want to go back here. I want to get out of here, and I want to get out of here now. And I think that what he's doing now is saying, okay, look, I let you guys play your role. You're not getting it done. Let me help you move me. And I think this is a step in that direction, because any team that takes on Ben Simmons is knowing that you're going to get multiple years of service out of him. And if you're a team like a Sacramento, for example, where you've got some interesting assets that you could package together for Ben Simmons, knowing that he's not going to be able to bolt in a year, you are more than willing to give them probably a little bit more than other teams, because you know you're getting him for a longer term than he would, than typically a guy of this stature would be able to be got. to be
Yeah, and the teams you would think willing to do this would be teams that probably aren't going to be able to land a big fish in free agency.
Right.
So, they're going to take a big swing at something. This might be their best bet to get a star outside of one that you can draft and develop on your own. At Sacramento, I don't know. I'm not messing with that roster for Ben Simmons personally. I like some of the things going on there. So it's a buyer beware situation. Simmons is elite at a lot of things that he does. Obviously, defensively, he's an outstanding passer. He can run the floor. He's great in transition. He's a great rebounder. He can't friggin' shoot a lick. And at this point, he's shown no willingness to try to take that step forward. Where Simmons hurts himself here is his flaws are obvious and he's taken no steps to fix them. And he doesn't have the benefit of an off season or a beginning of a season where people can see, oh, he's kind of got it. Like this is working. He worked on this. I can definitely see an improvement here. So I don't know. It's a tough spot all around. I think Philly really messed it up by not either taking a better offer during the season or rolling it back even further. Just simply trashing him the way that they did after they got eliminated there. If I'm Simmons, I wouldn't want to go back there either. You've got your star and your coach basically shrugging their shoulders and saying, I don't know if I want to be around this guy. It's a bad situation.
It is, but I think Doc and Joel Embiid for far too long were defending him when a lot of his stuff was defenseless. I mean, that moment at the very end of that game where he's got the ball nothing between him and the rim but air.
I know.
And he passes it because he's afraid to get fouled. That is a mental hurdle that I don't know if I want to play with a guy like that. And to be honest with you, Sacramento, and I mentioned him only because I think they've got some interesting pieces, as you pointed out, John, that make working with them attractive if you're Philly. And for Sacramento, again, they don't have a star. They've got good players, but Ben would be an immediate star, which would get you attention that you otherwise wouldn't get. And frankly, even if you keep the guys you have now, you're not winning a championship. You're probably not going to get to the playoffs. At least Ben gives you some hope that there's going to be interest in your organization, other than the fact that your team doesn't win. And for Ben, from his perspective, there's significantly less pressure on him as a player. He can be that 15 and 8 and 7 guy who shoots 64% from the field and 0% from three-point range because he's too chicken shit to take a shot from three-point range. And that's all good. No one is going to grumble or gripe about him. He will be that guy that will have 5, 6, 7, 8 all-star appearances and never get out of the second round of the playoffs.
If that's the case, again, if I'm a team, I'm not giving up young assets for him because it just doesn't seem worth it. If you know that your ceiling is capped, and again, this is entirely up to him. I mean, he has control here. We were around for this. We covered it. We've seen it. The early days of Rajon Rondo come to mind, where it was so stubborn, which is to say, oh my God, you can literally do anything. If you could just shoot a little, you would be fine.
And now he's doing that.
And he finally did, but if you just practiced an elbow jumper and some free throws, you would be great and we would have no problems. And he just wouldn't do it. It was almost stubborn. I mean, he had that chicken wing free throw where his elbow's all the way out. Everything was bad there. So I don't understand it. I've never understood it. And with Simmons, the nickname is apt, the coward nickname. It's just shoot a little, man. Just try. I mean, his unwillingness to even try, I think, is what frustrates people the most. Wanted to switch gears. We did have one Celtics related topic, and it's not really a serious matter, but I will say, Celtics Nation right there, Sherrod, hot and bothered. Yeah.
That's a Men's Health magazine cover waiting to happen right there.
Hot and bothered over this guy.
Don't let my daughter see this photo. I am absolutely not allowing that to happen at all. Damn, Tatum, Jack Tatum.
Jayson Tatum looks jacked in some new Instagram posts. This, like I said, it's got Celtics fans all aflutter right now. I didn't even want to show this.
Red there, John, yourself there, buddy.
I didn't even want to show it to Bobby Manning. But aside from, seeing it and getting all, Jayson Tatum doing this or becoming a bigger, stronger version of the guy that we've seen is a huge difference because we were talking about this on a separate thread, is it too big? Can you get to? I don't think so. I actually think he should have made a physical leap like this, maybe even a little earlier. You see guys definitely between years 1 and 2 when they get into an NBA building with those trainers and nutrition for the first time, and they're on a regimen and they're there every single day for a whole year, and there's a program, and you definitely see those big leaps year 1 to 2. We're in year 4, and even last year was a slight improvement, but he's still pretty skinny guy, and he's still not finishing through contact as well as you would like to see it. Again, I don't know how much of this is, the shadows and the whatever and this and that, but he looks bigger. He looks more rounded. A stronger, bigger, more physical Jayson Tatum can only help and make him a really tough defend, because him being able to finish through contact when he does go to the rim and to be able to kind of just move people off of him would make a huge difference. I'm not going to say unstoppable, but it would make him much more difficult to defend.
Listen, Jayson Tatum, I mean, from when he began, when he first came to the NBA to where he was last year, there's no question he's gotten bigger, stronger, and he's actually finishing better than he did. He's not a great finisher, but he's certainly
better.
Progress, right? But the Jayson Tatum that we see now, jacked like that, that's 30 points. That's easy 30. Easy 30 points every night, because that body right now is going to get him at least 5 additional free attempts a game. Yep. And he's an 80+% free throw shooter. So you're talking about another 4 points for a guy who dropped 27 last year. Jayson Tatum becomes, I would say, borderline top 5, top 10 scorer in the league with that type of physique. In fact, he could be pushing for top 2 or 3 in the league, because again, his ability to put it on the floor, shoot the 3 ball, attack off the dribble, and with that body potentially able to finish through contact and make his free throws, you're talking about an MVP candidate, 30-point per game score on a team that, probably isn't going to have the greatest record in the world, but damn, he's giving you 30+ points a night. That'll get it done.
Yeah, and so I think that's the kind of stuff you want to see. You want to see these physical improvements for some guys who need just better overall NBA bodies. Robert Williams is another one. But as you said with Tatum, free throws went up a tick last year, about 4.7 attempts in 1920, 5.3 in last season, 2021. Free throw percentage, around 87%. So you're right. He starts getting to the line 8 times a game, 9 times a game, 10 times a game. Like I said, easy 4 or 5 points, or like you said, easy 4 or 5 points if he can do that. So that's the next evolution of his game that you want to see. Sherrod Blakely, thank you very much for joining us. This has been the Boston Sports Beat.